Hey you guys, what's up? It's Christian and Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and we are here to review Naruto 590. So let's flash back to it.
Believe it or not, in this chapter of Naruto, there is actually a little bit of Naruto here. He's in the very beginning of the chapter. We can see that he is, of course, extremely happy that the Edo Tensei are finally disappearing. Toby himself is a little pissed. He's like, ah, damn it, Kabuto is failing. We then finally go back to the really epic battle between the Kages and, of course, Madara. And a lot of people were theorizing, when the Edo Tensei technique was dispersed, that maybe Madara would somehow stay on the battlefield. And it almost looks like he's going to. He has his Susanoo swinging its sword way up in the air, and it's about to come down right on the Kages. Mizukage's like freaking out. She's like, oh man, we can't do this, man. Game over, man. Right, Kage's like, damn it, you bitch-ass hoe, shut the fuck up. Didn't we just talk about the will of fire and all that bullshit? And it looks like they're actually about to be killed by the Susanoo, and then all of a sudden, boom, it starts to disperse into the skeleton, and it starts to disappear, and Madara himself, the beam of light comes up out of him, and it looks like he's finally getting ready to disappear. And he even comments himself, I guess the summoner is dead.
Jumping back to Sasuke and Itachi, Itachi is like, let me show you the past. And he goes, because fucking the Uchiha eyes can do everything, as well as pass back flashbacks. So we see Itachi and Shishui talking, and he is all bloody on one side of his face because Danzo has stolen one of his eyes, because Shishui was trying to stop the Uchiha uprising with his cool eye technique. He can like make people do and think things by inserting these thoughts in their head. And Danzo's like, no, we want that to happen, so give me that eye. And then Shishui, before he dies, hands the other eye to Itachi, and that is the beginning of this flashback.
So the next part of the chapter was extremely exciting. We get to go back to the elders in Konoha, and that includes Danzo, the third Hokage, and all those other guys. And they're just talking about what they should do, how they should handle this Uchiha coup d'etat that is going to happen. And it seems like everybody except for the third Hokage is like with this plan, because what they're planning to do is basically just massacre the entire clan, as we all know. And the third Hokage has always been against this, and he's being very vocal about it, but no one really seems to give a shit. Eventually, then we cut back to Danzo and Itachi, who are having a scene together, and Danzo is basically giving Itachi two ultimatums. You can either join the Uchiha and join their coup d'etat and be killed, or you can kill the entire clan and save your brother. And there is no C option.
No door number 3.
And remember, this is all for the greater good.
The greater good. The greater good. The greater good. The greater good. The next stop for Itachi is a conversation with Madara. Now this is something that got me really excited, because I was hoping we were going to get some new dialogue here. But really it was kind of some rehashing of some stuff we've already heard. Hey, Itachi says to Madara, I know you're Madara. He's like, whoa, really? And he's just like, hey, I'll help you get revenge on the clan as long as you don't kill my brother. And then we're cool. And Itachi's like, or Toby's like, okay, that works. That's pretty much it. See, that's why
there really wasn't any tension there at all.
I was hoping there was a little more reveal, because Itachi always talked about Madara being a shadow of his former self. I was hoping we were going to see how he came to that conclusion here, but instead we just got kind of new drawn panels of the same old stuff.
But to me, the biggest scene of this chapter was definitely when we go back to the Uchiha massacre, and we've always seen Itachi slaying his parents right in front of Sasuke, but we never actually got to see the conversation that was taking place before that, and we finally get to see what happens here. We can see that it is extremely tense. Both of Itachi's parents are on the floor, they're on their knees, they're about to be executed, and his father's just like, so, I see that you're a traitor. Well, you know what? That's okay. I'm still proud of you no matter what. And you know what? You're my son. I love you, but I just need you to take care of Sasuke. And the mother feels the same exact way. And honestly, this is a really heart-wrenching scene, because as soon as he finishes that sentence, Itachi just immediately starts bawling like crying and stabs his father through the chest with his sword. So, along with the death of his parents, this was also the death of Itachi's personality.
So now jumping back to the actual events happening in the Naruto manga, we see Itachi and Sasuke next to each other, and right before Itachi can fade away, he looks at Itachi... Oh, sorry, I'm going to do that one more time. So now jumping back to the actual events in the Naruto manga, we see Itachi and Sasuke. And before Itachi can fade away, he tells Sasuke, man, I'm sorry I lied to you all this time. I bet if I told you the truth, you could have helped save our parents' lives, and we could have told them, this isn't the right way to go about doing things, and we may have been able to change the past without all this bloodshed. And he slowly walks over to Sasuke, and it looks like he's going to poke him, but instead he just grabs him and pulls him in close, and they sort of touch heads, and he's like, by the way, whatever you end up doing, I love you, man. Not gay.
So what did SuperKamiGuru9000 think of Naruto chapter 590? I really liked it. It was a really emotional chapter.
Powerful.
There are times I look at this type of chapter and I may not like it, but this is one that I think is absolutely necessary for the character. A lot of big things happened. Obviously, before we get to the Itachi stuff, Madara disappearing. last week everybody was talking about maybe Madara is going to have some super ability. He's like the ultimate Edo Tensei. He'll be able to stay on the battlefield somehow, and he did eventually start to dissipate like all the other Edo Tenseis. And in a sense, I think this is a good thing, but at the same time, I'm slightly disappointed by the fact that the Kages were not ultimately able to fully defeat him. But when you look at the battle on a different standpoint, like the whole time, Madara is throwing all these ridiculous techniques at them constantly. We're talking meteors, Mokuton techniques, Susanus of ridiculous proportions, lots of Susanus, and still they're all able to survive. And, you know, they're all still working together. You know, the Mizukage is acting kind of like a little bitch, but whatever. But the point is, it's good to see that, though, even though it seems like the odds were against them, they still were not ultimately defeated by him. But still, I would have liked to see more from that. But still, the big stuff. I love the conversation Itachi had with his parents. That's something we needed to see. I do think it's a little strange, however, that the parents were so immediately forgiving of this. Although, you got to think about the tenseness of the situation and the things that are going on. There's still some things we still don't quite know. And I wish we could have learned a little bit more, like you mentioned, the Toby scene. I was kind of hoping there was... Yeah.
Anything Toby seems to be like a guarded secret in this manga. Obviously, who Toby is the biggest question mark of the Naruto series. Now, whether Naruto and stuff will become Hokage and all that other things, those are kind of just like principles of this manga. But who Toby is, that's something that I think that they're just keeping a super big secret, and they just won't even reveal anything to us.
And ultimately, Toby's identity is going to shake a lot of things up. It's going to bring, I think, a lot of things to fruition. And obviously, the author is still trying to keep it secret and everything. But again, and in the final scene, Itachi and Sasuke, you know, hugging him. I love you, buddy. You're my bra. You know, it was touching. You know, it was a nice emotional scene. I really hope this has a profound effect on Sasuke. I hope he actually learns something from this. I almost sort of wish that Itachi would have just used Izanami on him. But, you know, we can only see what can happen from here. I do hope it has an effect on him.
I really liked this chapter. It was a good read, even though there was a lot of dialogue, more than your standard Naruto chapter. I do feel, though, that some of this dialogue was kind of reinforcing things we already knew. But at the same time, we're getting the second death of Itachi, and every time you get a death, you get a buttload of flashbacks along with it, especially in shonen manga. So just reinforcing Itachi's past and the tragedy of this character is pretty standard, and I enjoyed seeing it, and I also really enjoyed seeing the parent stuff. I think that was really important for his character development, and seeing that Itachi is, a person with feelings. He's not just some merciless, root killer. And I also thought the stuff with Naruto at the beginning is cool. It shows that that's probably the last big fight going on right now, is Tobi and Kakashi, Guy, and Naruto about to fight. We were also discussing we really hope that Tobi doesn't retreat. We hope that he actually stays and fights, because supposedly everyone's heading there to help fight Tobi. The Geto Mazo, I want to see that do something soon.
I mean, there's only so many villains that are actually left at this point. You got Tobi, you got Black Zetsu, you have maybe a few remaining.
Kabuto, supposedly, he's in there.
Kabuto's just sort of...
He's
he's stuck.
Yeah, he's definitely stuck. But overall, a really solid chapter, and I would definitely give this one. I'm feeling an 8. What are you feeling?
Yeah. It's one of those chapters I'm going to remember for a long time.
Very important to the Naruto storyline.
And as always, guys, remember, if you did like the video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. It is time for the question of the week, where we're going to ask you about this week's chapter. My question for you has to deal with the dispersal of the Edo Tenseis now that they are gone. How is this war going to continue? Is Tobi actually going to battle? Is he going to retreat? Is he going to pull some ridiculous cheap Uchiha technique out of his ass? Who knows?
The second question I want to ask you guys is, do you think any of these impressions that Itachi has tried so hard to leave on Sasuke are going to matter? Do you think it's going to change his motivation? And do you think he will have some mercy on Konoha now? Okay, until next time, you guys, SuperKamiGuru9000, out.